Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean,
Hello, good morning to you all. It doesn't look like the morning is that good. Good morning. Good morning. Good, that is fine. You are welcome. So we are still on the Ashanti regional contest of the Junior Science and Maths Quiz. And you are warmly welcome. This is our second contest for the day, and we know that this quiz is organized by Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in partnership with Eridec Ghana Limited and the Ghana Education Service. So this is just not just an ordinary quiz, it is a quiz that intends to enhance your knowledge and understanding in the principles of basic science, ICT, and mathematics. And so we are very happy that you have made it to be here. And let me bring to your attention that you are in KNUST. KNUST is ranked #1 in quality education. And so if you are here and you are participating, you have to be proud of yourself. The Vice Chancellor, Professor Rita Akusua-Dixon, together with the Provost of the College of Health Sciences, the Chair of the Planning Committee, Professor Kwesi Preku, and the entire members of the committee, as well as contestants, participating schools, we really appreciate your involvement. Thank you all for coming. And also, we would want to say a very big thank you to our sponsors. Our sponsors, KNUST Institute of Distant Learning, we thank you so much. We journeyed around the country and they make it very pleasurable. And so we are so grateful. The venues were comfortable and we appreciate it so much. KNUST e-learning, they provide the media and the video coverages and we are so grateful. Dex Technology, we thank you so much for making our technology challenge. You see, it's a reality. So for making it reality, we say thank you. At Dex Technology, we say a new beginning to new engineers. We are so grateful to you, and I would say welcome, and feel free, relax, and put out your best. If you are happy to be here and you are really serious in your contribution towards this contest, I will need you to give a very big round of applause to yourself. Thank you. This morning we have 3 competing schools. We have WEWESO MAJHS. WEWESO MAJHS, we have Divine Mission Academy, and we have La Fontaine. I think I pronounced it correctly. Yes, because I did some practice before now. So we have La Fontaine International School, and they have their representation. So WEWESO MAJHS will tell us who are representing them.
I am John Evans Agri.
And
Panama Odampo entry.
give them a round of applause. Now, Divine Mission Academy is represented by
Ohene Alsafu Kantanka.
and
Short time Menkare Anwa.
good. Give them a hand of applause. La Fontaine International School is represented by
Alhassan Abdulaziz.
And Michael Owusu Boateng.
good. Thank you very much. So for this contest, the school that wins will qualify to the next stage of the competition. Do you know the school that's going to win? Yes. You do? Which school is that? Again? Okay. So schools were mentioned. The one that we will know will be at the end of the contest. So maybe the first school win. I am Dr. Mrs. Linda Bachadebra. I'm a senior lecturer with the Department of Clinical Microbiology, School of Medicine and Dentistry, and I will be your quiz mistress. For this contest, we are going to have 4 rounds. 4 rounds. The first round will be the fundamental round, and then we have the fastest brain, fastest finger round. We'll have the technology challenge round, and then we will have the decoding the clues round. Okay, I will read the instructions at the beginning of each of the round, so you pay attention as I read the instructions. Okay, good luck to all schools, and may the best school win. So we will start round 1. Okay, round 1 is the fundamental round, and this round consists of questions from biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, and ICT. If a school answers the question correctly, 3 points are awarded. If the question is incorrectly answered, it becomes available as a bonus with 2 other schools to complete. Schools have 15 seconds to answer questions that do not require calculations, and 40 seconds to answer questions that require calculations. Each school will have a maximum of 2 attempts to 2 attempts for their main question and 1 attempt for a bonus question. Bonus questions are open to the 2 other schools to compete for by ringing a buzzer. Failing ring the buzzer before answering the question for the bonus nullifies your answer, even if your answer is correct. So at this point, we would want to be sure that our buzzers are ringing. So we will listen to the buzzers from our schools. La Fontaine International School, how does your buzzer sound?
Please, it's not responding.
Yes, we cannot attest to that. It will be worked on shortly. Okay. What of Divine Mission Academy? Okay. And we will so.
Make sure the audio device is.
Okay. La Fontaine, would you want to try again? Good. And Divine Mission Academy? Good. Let's confirm that of WEWESO. Great. Now the buzzers are working, so we can start our contest. So question 1. Question 1 is a preamble to all schools, so you should all pay attention. You are to mention the keys used to represent the following operational signs in Microsoft Excel. Not the operational signs. Mention the keys used to represent the following operational signs in Microsoft Excel. WEWESO MAJHS, multiplication.
Asterisk.
I'll give it to you. So normal will call it the star, but that is correct for 3 points. Okay, good. Divine Mission Academy, division.
/
Forward slash is correct. La Fontaine International, subtraction.
Minus sign.
Minus sign, I'll give it to you. We call it the icon. Good. Question 2. Question 2 is also a preamble. Okay? So these questions do not involve calculations, so you have 15 seconds to answer them. In an experiment to study chemical reactions, potassium carbonate is mixed with nitric acid. Divine Mission Academy, your question. Give the name and chemical formula for the main product formed from this reaction.
Potassium nitrate.
Potassium nitrate is correct. You don't want to clap for them? La Fontaine International. Write a balanced chemical equation for the reaction. Spelled out. The bonus. WEWESO MA.
KHCO3 plus HNO3 forms KNO3 plus CO2 plus H2O.
That is incorrect. You don't want to attempt? So now you can press the buzzer. Okay, you go ahead.
K2CO3 plus 2HNO3 going to 2KNO3 plus CO2 plus H2O.
That is correct for a bonus. WEWESO AHS, your main question. What type of chemical reaction is demonstrated?
Neutralization reaction.
Neutralization reaction is correct. For 3 points. Now question 3. La Fontaine International School. I'll start with you. What is the name of the transparent front part of the eye that covers the iris, pupil, and anterior chamber?
Eyelid.
Another attempt? Cornea is correct for 3 points. WEWESO MA, your main question. What is the name of the light-sensitive tissue lining the inner surface of the eye?
Retina.
Retina is the correct answer. Divine Mission Academy. Name the part of the eye responsible for controlling the diameter and size of the pupil, thus the amount of light reaching the retina.
The cornea.
That is incorrect.
The suspension ligament.
That is not correct. WEWESO MA.
The iris.
The iris is correct. Question 4. You also have 15 seconds for this set of questions. It's a preamble to all schools. Correct the following numbers to the number of significant figures given to you. Correct the following numbers to the number of significant figures given to you. WEWESO Emily. 40.9805 to 3 significant figures. Yes, go ahead.
41.
Go ahead. You started before it.
41.0805.
I would not give it to you. Divine Mission.
41.0.
41.0. 41.0. Divine Mission Academy, your main question. 0.00026 to 1 significant figure.
0.0003.
Exactly the answer. La Fontaine International School. 6, 7, 8, 3, 0, 0, 0 to 3 significant figures.
Six, 7, 9, 0, 0, 0, 0.
That is not correct. You can have another attempt.
6, 7, 8, 0, 0, 0, 0.
Come again.
6, 7, 8, 0, 0, 0, 0.
That is correct for today. So when you start answering and the bell rings, just finish, okay? Don't stop. The next set of questions, question 5. The preamble to all schools. Okay. Name 2 types of electromagnetic waves that lie on either side of visible light in the electromagnetic spectrum. Name 2 types of electromagnetic waves that lie on either side of visible light in the electromagnetic spectrum. WEWESO MAJHS. The left side.
The South Pole.
That is not correct. Another attempt. You've been bailed out. It's a bonus. Okay, so you've been timed out. I will not give the answer for this question because it will be a leading answer for the next ones. So when I finish, then I'll tell you the answer. Okay. Divine Mission Academy, the right side. Held out. It's a bonus now. So time up. I will still not give the answer. So La Fontaine International, from both left and right, except earlier mentioned, but none has been mentioned. So you are free to say any. Belt out is a bonus. Okay, so the time is up. So on the left side, you could have infrared, microwaves or radio waves. On the right side, you could have ultraviolet, X-rays or gamma rays. Okay, and then if none of them were mentioned, left or right, then you could have mentioned any of them. But none was mentioned, so that was it. Okay. Now let's go to question 6. Question 6 is also a preamble to all schools. So the following questions are statements for question 6. So you are to state whether they are true or false. The question will not be passed on as a bonus. La Fontaine International School. In Microsoft Word, the pre-programmed legal paper size is the same as the A4 paper size. True or false?
False.
False is correct. WEWESO MAJHS. In Microsoft Word, the only 2-page orientation available are portrait and landscape. True or false?
True.
True is correct. Divine Mission Academy. Still in Microsoft Word. It is possible to allow a word to be hyphenated such that the rest of the word is continued on the next line. True or false?
True.
True is correct. Question 7. WEWESO MA. A square is made up of 2 equilateral triangles. True or false? That is not correct. It's rather two isosceles triangle. Okay. Divine Mission Academy. The interior angles of a kite sum up to 360 degrees. True or false?
True.
True is correct. La Fontaine International. A right-angled triangle that is not an isosceles triangle can either be scalene or equilateral triangle. True or false?
True.
That is not correct. It's only a scalene. Okay. So this brings us to the end of round 1.
Ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6, a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind.
I think we are ready to hear the scores for the first round. So I'm going to mention the scores in no order. And at the end of round 1, we have WEWESO MAJHS accruing 13 points. Divine Mission Academy accrued 16 points. And La Fontaine International School accrued 12 points. Sponsors again, and here we say thank you to KNUST Institute of Distant Learning, KNUST e-learning, and DEX Technology. Thank you very much for sponsoring the program. We will move on to round 2. So round 2 is the fastest brain, fastest finger round. And in this round, one question is going to be read. And contestants will have to compete to be the first to answer. Each question carries a score of 4 points. And when a contestant is ready to respond, they should press the buzzer before they attempt to answer. Answering before pressing the buzzer will disqualify the school from the question. After the buzzer is pressed, the contestant must answer in 3 seconds. If a school gets the question wrong, the 2 remaining schools get to compete to answer. A wrong answer in this round attracts a penalty of 1 point. Good luck to all schools. So now question 1. Are you ready? Would you want to test your buzzers again? Just to be sure they are working? La Fontaine? Let's go. Good. And then WEWESO? Okay, so they are all working now. Question 1. the number lock is toggled off? Divine mission.
One will not be able to use the the keys.
That is not correct. Let me complete it now. I can complete it. Okay. If the number lock is toggled off, what will pressing the number off, the number 4 on the numeric keyboard do in an open Word document? You've all been bailed out. So it will move the cursor to the left. The cursor will move to the left. Okay. Number 2. What is the name of the jelly-like structure, the jelly-like substance that fills the space between the lens and the retina of the eye? WEWESO MA?
Gum.
That is not correct. You've all been bailed out. That is the vitreous humor. The vitreous humor. Okay. Number 3. What is the most abundant inorganic compound on Earth? Held out. Now I have to be answering my own questions, eh? That is water. That is the most abundant one. Okay. Okay. So, question 4. Pay attention very well. Sechere walked from his house for 1.5 hours at 2 kilometers per hour and ran for 2.75 hours at double his walking pace to get to his school. Let me take it again for you. Sechere walked from his house for 1.5 hours at 2 kilometers per hour and ran for 2.75 hours at double his walking pace to get to his school. How far is his school from the house? Divine mission. That is not correct. Time up. That will be 14 kilometers. 14. Now question 5. What is the most reactive element in the periodic table? Divine mission?
Potassium.
Potassium is not correct. WEWESO?
Good.
No? FONTAINE?
Aluminium.
That is not correct. It is fluorine. Fluorine. Okay. Question 6. Let's check our buzzers again. That is La Fontaine. Divine Mission. WEWESO. Good. Let's move on. Question 6. Most infections spread by aerosols fast and affects which part of the body system? Divine Mission.
Respiratory system.
That is correct. Question 7. What is the primary source of energy for the sun? Divine Mission.
True nuclear fission.
Nuclear fission is correct. Question 8. Calculate the potential energy of an object with a mass of 4 kilograms and a height of 5 centimeters. WEWESO MA.
200 joules.
That is not correct. Divine Mission.
20 joules.
20 joules is correct. You have to clap for them when they get the answer right. You have to give them moral support. So this brings us to the end of round 2.
The ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
The ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade.
Okay, welcome back. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yes. The competition is becoming keener and keener, and so I think our contestants are doing marvelously well. At the end of round 2, we have the scores ready, and for WEWESO MAJHS, they had -3 points. For Divine Mission Academy, they had 9 points. La Fontaine International School had -1 point. And so putting the 2 rounds together, we have a total of 10 points for WEWESO MAJHS. Give them a round of applause. We have for Divine Mission Academy, 25 points. La Fontaine International School, we have 11 points. So thank you, our dear audience. Very big thank you to our contestants, and very, very big thank you for our dear sponsors, KNUST Institute of Distance Learning, KNUST E-Learning, and DEX Technology. So we will move on to round 3, which is the Science and Technology Challenge. But before we do that, there's substitution for, first, we have WEWESO MAJHS. So here we have Kunama entry being replaced by Desmond Kusi. And then another substitution for Divine Mission Academy. Awal is being replaced by Wunam. Okay, so thank you very much. We have our new entrants. I mentioned names, but I'm not sure if they are the ones. They would have to confirm their names to me. And so for WEWESO MAJHS,
Kusi Desmond.
Kusi Desmond, thank you. Give him a round of applause. And Divine Mission Academy.
Nuruddin Munam Sadiq Abubakar Mohammed.
Okay. That's a long name. Okay, so gentlemen, you are welcome.
The ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pour, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent, I experience what is being taught to my child in school, in the house, and I see my children telling me this is what brings the force to the machine that is carrying the load and the rest, and I'm like, wow, if at grade 5 and 6 a child is able to have all this at the back of their mind and be hands-on, then the future is bright.
Science sets has been the game changer for Solomon Bennett Memorial as a school.
The ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder.
Thank you. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. So round 3. Round 3 has a preamble. It is the Science and Technology Challenge round. And so the preamble is given to all schools. Here you have been provided with an RGB light. You have to check the items that have been provided for you. You should have an RGB light. Do you have it all? You have it, WEWESO? Divine? Mission Academy? La Fontaine? Good. So you have an RGB light, and then you should have a screen. It is labeled S. You should also have a screen, yes, labeled S, and then you should have 3 lenses. 3 lenses labeled L1, L2, and L3. In addition, you should have a straight edge. You should have a rule. Okay. Okay. So you all have these items. La Fontaine. La Fontaine. I haven't asked you to do anything yet. Do you have the items I mentioned? Good. Divine Mission, you also have them. And then WEWESO. Very good. So now you have a task to perform. The task states that you should place the RGB light and the screen in front of each other. And then you use any of the lens that is given, the appropriate lens, to create an inverted image on the screen. And then you adjust the lens to get a sharp inverted image on the screen. Then you go ahead to measure the distance from the lens to the RGB and also the distance of the lens to the screen. Okay. And then when you finish, there are a set of questions that you have to answer. You have to go ahead and give reasons for the choice of the lens that you took, and also using the measured values in task 4, calculate the focal length of the lens you used, and then your answer should be to the nearest whole number. Are we clear? Are we good to go? So in this round, you have 10 minutes to complete the task. And so you also have a total of 10 marks to accrue from this round. If you say you are ready, then I would say you should start work now. have 3 minutes remaining. 3 minutes.
The ideal Solomon Bennett student is someone who is an all-rounder. I mean, practically, intellectually, morally, physically. First, the study of science was chew, pass, and forget.
As a school, we thought it's as very important to let our children have a practical experience with what they study. So as a school, we decided to introduce the science sets.
As a parent,
Okay, so welcome back. We are done with our Science and Technology Challenge round. And we had a task that we needed to execute, which we have done. And so what we'll be interested in now is to see what came out of the exercise that we did. I would read out the task again, and then I will read out the related questions, and then I'll give you the expected answers, and then we will cross-check with the answers that we got from the schools. Okay. So the task was for our contestants to place the RGB lights and the screen they had in front of each other, and then also use a chosen lens to create an inverted image on the screen. They were to adjust the lens such that they would get a very sharp inverted image, and then go ahead to measure the distance from the RGB, between the RGB and that of the lens and that of the screen. Then they needed to give reasons why they chose the lens they chose to get the results they had. And they were to also measure the distance from the lens to the RGB and the screen, from the lens to the screen. And then calculate the focal length of the lens that they used. So for the activity, we saw them do the activity. And so the questions that were answered, which required them to give reasons for the choice of lens, what we expected was that the choice of lens was a convex lens, and we know that it produces an inverted image. And when an object is placed beyond the focal length of a convex lens, the lens converges the light rays coming from the object and then forms an inverted real image on the opposite side of the lens. So this phenomenon occurs because the light rays bend towards the principal axis when they pass through a convex lens. So that was the expected answer for question 1. And for question 2, measuring the length between the length between the screen and the lens, we expected them to have around 6 centimeters or 60 millimeters. And the distance from the RGB to the lens should be about 5.5 centimeters or 55 millimeters. So to the nearest whole number, we would have 55 or we would have 60 or 55 for the distances between the screen to the lens and then the RGB to the lens respectively. For the focal length, we know the formula for the focal length, which is 1 over f equals to 1 over u plus 1 over v. And so where the distance from the lens, with the distance, where u is the distance from the screen of the lens and v is the distance of the RGB from the lens. And so we expected a focal length of 3 centimeters or 30 millimeters plus or minus 2. Now let's see what we got from the schools. I have WEWESO MAJHS on top, and that is why I'm starting with it. It is in no order, actually, no particular order. So for question 1, the answer reads like We chose lens 1, so it meant that lens 1 was chosen, which gave an inverted image because concave lens has concave meniscus, allowing the image to be inverted. I went round looking at the tasks that they had done, and actually I did not see any image on the screen. And the lenses that have been provided, lens 3 is the one that will give you the convex. They said they had lens 1 giving them a concave malicious image, and that will not be inverted. It has to be a convex one. And so I would not give any mark for this particular question number. Actually, the total marks there is 2 points. And then what they had to do is to measure the values in task 4. And task 4 is asking us to measure the distance from the lens to the RGB and the distance from the lens to the screen. But the sheet that I have does not have any calculation. There's a statement that says the focal length between the lens and the screen is 10 centimeters, and the focal length between the length and the screen. Actually, the statement is not complete. The right answer would have been the focal length, the distance. So they got mixed it up. We're looking at the distance and then the focal length. So the distance would have between the screen and that of the lens is expected to be 60. But even if I take out the focal length, the 10 that is written is not a correct answer. And so I would not give any mark for that. For the effort, generally I am going to give 1 mark to each of the schools for the effort that they put in completing the task. And this means that for WEWESO MAJHS, they score 1 out of 10 for this particular round. I have La Fontaine. So what is the reason La Fontaine is given for choosing the particular lens they chose? L1 was used because it can make an inverted and sharp image. When I went to their place, I did not see any light on the screen. I did not see any light on the screen. And in actual fact, L1 will not give you an inverted light. It is supposed to be L3. And so I think the statement here is not what is expected. So I will not give any mark for here. For measuring the distances and the focal length, I have some calculation here. (49/10 × 8 is all I have. there's nothing else. So there's no calculation, there's no answer on the sheet, and therefore I cannot also give any mark for that. And so for the efforts, 1 mark across, and so I'll give you 1 out of 10 for this particular round. Now, Divine Mission Academy. Also use lens 1. Reason for lens 1 is because we use concave lens. And in concave lenses, they produce inverted images. That is exactly the opposite of what is expected. And so there is no mark for the reason. And the distance lens to the RGB lens to RGB is 5.5 centimeters, and the distance from lens to the screen is 5.4 centimeters. Actually, the distance from the lens to the screen is 5.5 centimeters, and so they get it correct from here. And the total mark for that is 1 point. So I will give them 1 point for that particular question. And then I can see that the focal length is also calculated, and the answer that was gotten was 5. We expected the focal length to be 3 centimeters, plus or minus 2. So if it is 5, then I would give it to them. So here the total mark for calculating the focal length is 3 points, and I will give it to them. So putting the marks together, Divine Mission Academy earns 4 points, and plus their efforts, they will get 5 out of 10 in this round. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would want to give our contestants a big round again. They have done well. And also, we would want to say thank you to our sponsors. come to the end of round 3, and our results for round 3 is ready. So at the end of round 3, WEWESO MAJHS had 1 point. Divine Mission Academy had 5 points. And La Fontaine International School had 1 point. Good. So I would announce the total mark for the round. But before I do that, I will need to straighten out some outcomes that were recorded. And so within the fastest finger, 4 points were awarded to Divine Mission Academy for mentioning that the potential energy for a mass of 40 kilograms and a height of 5 centimeters is 20 joules, which I awarded as 4 marks. And for joules, it should have been converted to meters. If you convert it, then you get 2 instead of 20. So those marks are reverted for Divine Mission Academy. The other reversion that I would also want to do concerns the chemical formula, mentioning of the chemical formula and the name. So Divine Academy gave me the name and I gave them the mark without the chemical formula. So instead of 3, I would rather give 2 for that. Okay. And then I would put the marks together. So as it stands now, the total marks that have been accrued is from WEWESO MAJHS, they have 11 points. Please let's give them a round of applause. They have done very well. La Fontaine International School had 12 points. And Divine Mission Academy has 24 points. Thank you to everybody, and thank you to our cherished sponsors. We'll move on to round 4, and this is the final round. Round 4 is decoding the clues round. Here we have a set of clues, and the question will be read out in a series of clues. If the question is answered on the first clue, 6 points are awarded. If answered correctly on the second clue, 5 points are awarded. On the third clue, 4 points are awarded. And on the fourth or any other indication, you get 3 points. Contestants are to press the buzzer before attempting to answer the question. Failure to press the buzzer before answering disqualifies you from that question and nullifies your answer, even if it is correct. To be sure our buzzers are working, let's hear them ring again. That is for La Fontaine, Divine Mission, WEWESO. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And before we proceed, there's a substitution that has to be made from La Fontaine. We have Abdul coming out for Mayor to step in. Okay. So majestically seated, we would want to hear your name.
Mayosu Safo Form 2.
Great, great. So you are welcome. You are the one we were waiting for, and so we will start with the round. Set 1. I am crucial for the functioning of computers and other electronic devices. My speed is essential for the overall performance of the computer. I am a type of computer memory that is volatile. WEWESO.
RAM.
That is correct on clue 3. Set 2. I am an unchanging value. I am, in some sense, irrational. Divine Mission.
Pi.
Pi is correct on clue 2. On clue 2. Set 3. I am a fundamental device for internet connectivity. I am a more sophisticated version of a switch. I move data packets between networks. I use IP addresses to determine the best path for data transmission. I am essential for connecting different networks. Divine Mission.
Router.
Router is correct on clue 5. Clue 5. So we have the last set. And this one will bring us to the end of our contest. Please, let us have some quietness. I am a standard for character encoding. I am a set of binary codes representing characters. Each character in my set is represented by 8 bits. I can represent 256 different characters. I am used to represent text in computers. I include letters, numbers, and special symbols. Who am I? Divine Mission?
Character.
That is not correct. FONTAINE?
Standard keyboard.
No. WEWESO?
Optical character recognition.
That is not correct. The expected answer is ASCII. ASCII. A-S-C-I-I. ASCII. Okay. So with that, we have come to the end of round 4 and the end of our contest for this moment. You don't want to clap for them? Thank you very much. Thank you. And I think our contestants have done marvelously well. Please, let's give them a very big round of applause. Thank you. This has been a very interesting and competitive contest. I have the results with me, and I guess we are all very eager to hear it. Are we or are we not? It doesn't sound like. Are we or are we not? Yes, of course you have to be. At the end of round 4, we have WEWESO MAJHS accruing 4 points. Give them a round of applause. Divine Mission Academy had 8 points. La Fontaine International School had no points for that particular round. So putting all the rounds together, the total and final mark for this contest stands as I'm going to announce. La Fontaine International School had 12 points. WEWESO MAJHS had 15 points. And Divine Mission Academy had 32 points. Congratulations to all contestants. Congratulations to all schools. You have done well. It is a very bravery effort, and you have no idea what it takes to come and sit here with all the lights and with you audience in the studios and with audience online watching. So I would entreat you all to give our contestants a very big round of applause. You have done well. Well done, La Fontaine International School. Well done, WEWESO, MAJHS, and a very big congratulations to Divine Mission Academy. So at this moment, Divine Mission Academy is the winners for our contest for this afternoon, and they qualify for the next stage of the competition, which will be communicated to the school. For WEWESO and La Fontaine, we say better luck next time, and we hope to see you next year, and we are sure we will move to the next stage of the competition. Thank you also, our wonderful audience, for your support for our contestants. Thank you very much. I think we would like to take a picture